Hello everyone, this is assignment 2 with Mr. Key Tran. This is the Humble Inquiry Conversation. Go ahead, Key, brief introduction about yourself again.
Hi Professor, and everyone who is watching this video. This is Key Tran again. I joined Jonah in the last video, so it's my pleasure today to join this video again.
Absolutely, for another Humble Inquiry Conversation. We're just going to start off, Key, with kind of your job. I know last video we talked about enterprise where you worked at. Kind of just like going a little bit more depth about like a day there. Like what do you focus on now there that's like sets you up for success in a day?
So basically, like enterprise, like rent a car.
Mm-hmm.
So on a daily basis, we rent cars, but a lot of people like when think of like enterprise rent a car, they think like, okay, you guys just rent cars.
Absolutely.
But there are a lot of things to do, like back end stuff. Make sure that customer is up to date on payment. Make sure that if there's anything wrong with the vehicle, we swap out right away. Basically, like customer service, and also because we rent cars, we also offer protection to the customer as well to help protect the vehicle, so that if anything happens, like damage stuff like that, they do not have to involve the insurance. So basically, sales.
Okay.
So enterprise rent a car, I would say like 60% of our business focus on customer service, and 40% will be sales.
Okay, so kind of just what I heard is like customer service based, like, right car, right time. So like you're making sure the vehicle's damage free, inspected, and then you get them the right car class. And then you said 40% of it's around sales, like selling those 4 protections you guys offer, like offering every product every time, so they ensure that the customer, the car is safe to be in. Correct?
Yep.
Okay, alrighty, fantastic there. I guess kind of just jumping into it, just behind enterprise, just their huge market share and just like the publicity they get. Can you kind of explain it, like the brand power you could say behind enterprise and just like the well-known company it is?
Gotcha. Yes. So back to the day, because like right now, like back to the day, like in the market, it's only enterprise like rent a car. Whenever like you need to rent a car, there's only one competitor in the market.
Okay.
But now it's like a couple years. Recently, we have a lot of new competitors like Avids, Budget. They offer the same thing. Cars, biggest, like they have a lot of specialties, regular cars, same offers, enterprise. So we have a lot of competitors. And then it was really hard for us to stand off the market because they offer the same price, even cheaper than enterprise. So we know the obstacles, and also we know that is the really high risk, like competitors enter the market.
Yeah.
So we came up with like a really comprehensive solution to make enterprise stand out compared to other competitors. We call it like 5 unique selling.
Alrighty. I guess can you go in a little bit more depth about that? You're getting to a really good point there. If you explain it a little bit more.
For sure. So for the 5 unique selling points that enterprise always really like focus on, the first one is total transportation, because we do not only offer regular cars like daily rental. We do have like truck rental, car share. We have exotic cars, blah blah blah. And then the second one is nationwide locations. So you have like just travel to other states. We have like enterprise across the country. And the third one is customer service.
Yeah.
I told you like 60% customer service. Our customer service is outstanding.
Yeah.
The fourth one is people. We develop employees. We care about the employees to make sure that the employees take care of the customer. And the last one is our ARM system, which help us build a relationship with the buyer shops, insurance, and connect with the customer for convenience.
Absolutely. That's some good points there. Would you, I guess, in your sense, would you think that like that market share you talked about earlier would be like an adaptive challenge that you would face at enterprise? Could you kind of go into depth with that?
That is a really nice question, because like to me, adaptive challenge is some kind of a challenge. It's really hard to identify, and it takes you like a lot of time and effort to figure out the solutions.
Yeah.
To me, market share and also like competitors is one of the biggest adaptive challenges that most companies are facing up to nowadays. So basically, because you don't know, like in the short term, you don't know who's gonna enter the market and who's gonna be out of the market. It's so hard to forecast the market. So in order to maintain the market share and also stand out in the market is a really big problem. Also a big adaptive challenge for.
Like I mentioned earlier about the market share and competitor, for example, like Hertz rental nowadays. Like nowadays people, because like living standard is like increasing, so hyperinflation as well. So people are more likely to rent cars more than like buying a new car. So the demand is going up. And then a lot of people, especially in Davenport in specific,
Quad
they want
Cities area.
Quad Cities area, they want something like affordable.
Yeah.
They don't want to rent a car for like $60 if they know. And then Hertz, they offer like, as far as I remember, it's like $40-ish a day,
Okay.
which is like 20% cheaper than Enterprise.
Okay.
That's why a lot of customers, I would say like 50% of our current customers swap to Hertz just because of the price.
Okay.
That is one of the biggest like challenges that we as a leader we have to deal with, and we have to figure out how to gain those customer backs for Enterprise. So that's why we come up with our like really comprehensive plans. Stick to customer service. We stick to their needs as well, and we also carry out a lot of promotion. Like if you get the vehicle for a week, we only charge you for 5 days.
Okay. So I guess kind of just elaborate on that adaptive challenge. It looks like to me like this day and age, like the world around us, like the market share of Enterprise, it could increasingly grow, it could be down just due to the fact that like cars aren't cheap. That's kind of just the basis of it. And from what you stated, like people would rather rent than buy a car now because that it's so much cheaper, and especially if they need a lift somewhere or if they need a replacement car. You did state, I believe, how like Hertz, like their rates, they compete with ours so that the rates are cheaper than Enterprises. So people will naturally go online or walk up to the counter and book with them. Is that correct?
Yep, and also
Okay.
because we know that Hertz offer a better price, so we stick on that to develop like a better strategy. We also stick on the price, but if you get a weekly rate, you got like 2 days rate, 2 day free, like what I said. So
Yeah.
they can have the rental for more days,
Okay.
get more revenue for us.
Okay.
And then customer also have a better price.
Okay.
Win-win situation.
Okay, so I guess you could kind of, with that challenge as well, like you mentioned, like you can tie in as well, where like those promotions and those deals.
Your price strategy.
Yeah, price strategies, those customers see that and they want to book with that rental company because it's cheaper. That's a great, that's a great place for market share, how to gain that. So that's definitely a challenge this day and age, just trying to capture that. And fantastic job. From your standpoint as an assistant manager at the one in West Kimberly Road, could you explain to me a little bit about how you guys capture your market share just with the adaptive challenge you talked about? How your branch or your location takes that market share and tries to get as many customers as possible in those vehicles? Could you explain that a little
Basically,
bit?
the way that we capture the market share is that we calculate our customer base on a monthly basis to see how much percent we increase compared to last month. And also we base on link-up rental. So basically, if we have like 2 customers, let's say 2 customers, and customer were in the rental for 2 days, so we only have 4, right?
Yeah.
2 times 2, 4. But if we have 2 customers, the customer was in the rental for 10 days, so 2 times 10, 20.
Yeah.
Link-up rental. So it's basically link-up rental and also how many reservation, how many actual tickets that we open for that month.
Okay. Alrighty, V. So just wrapping this this conversation up. We mentioned earlier about your time at Enterprise and how your adaptive challenge that we're facing with the world around us is capturing that market share from our competitors. And then you stated, I believe, that the reasons or the ways why Enterprise is so successful from the market competitors is prices. We're looking at employee development and the kind of the core components of picking up customers when needed, replacement vehicles, and with the convenience part of it, replacing their vehicle through insurance or anything like that. You also mentioned about the customer service and the sales and stuff. So kind of just that's kind of your base and kind of your solution you mentioned was, like I said, capturing the rates, length of rental, and then seeing those competitors of Hertz, Avis, and Budget, like you mentioned, and seeing where their rental cars are at, so you can strategize how you guys are competing with how expensive cars are these days and how people want to rent more than buy. So you're kind of looking at their price strategies and their what their goals are for their cars. Is that accurate?
Right. I just want to add one more thing on
Yeah.
that. So as a leader of a big company, you have to know yourself first and then know competitors so that you can come up with appropriate solutions.
Okay, awesome. That fantastic finish to that. This is our conversation, and like I said, Keith Tran, thank you for joining me today.